When you pull back, when you go quiet, you start to think, I am done with this relationship. I am done with this man. And suddenly, oh, he's soft and kind and attentive and apologizing and acting like he's ready to talk about the future again. Suddenly, he's the man you always wanted, the guy that you met in the beginning, right? Right when you're ready to leave. Anything interesting about that timing? Nothing about this is random. Pay attention to the pattern. I am going to show you why the kindness shows up at the exact moment, how it pulls you back in, and what to watch for after. My name is Lisa Sonni. I'm a certified relationship coach, the author of 5 books, and the creator of the Trauma Bond Recovery course. I teach women how to exit and heal from horrible, abusive, toxic relationships, and more specifically, how to rebuild after you've left. Click subscribe for more videos like this. So let's get into why this happens. Now, the second you pull away from a man like this, everything changes, right? He feels that you're pulling away before you even say it out loud. These guys know the energy, right? In the beginning of these relationships, they are studying you. Don't think for a second that they don't know when you're going cold and you're pulling away and you're ready to leave. You don't always have to tell him you're leaving for him to know that you're slipping away. So it starts to feel kind of unstable, right? Access to you is suddenly not guaranteed. You're not saying yes the way you used to. You're not serving him in the way that you used to. And suddenly his behavior changes, right? Suddenly he tries to restore what he feels is slipping away, which really is control. But kindness in these situations really becomes a tool. Something I say regularly, and it is such an important message for people, is that abusive men, I know they oscillate between kindness and cruelty, but they are cruel and abusive. And sometimes these men use kindness as a weapon to keep you. They are not 2 different versions of one man. It's one man using tools that work. Kindness is a tool. Anger is a tool. Fear is a tool. So when he feels you pulling away, yeah, some guys use blame shifting and anger. Some guys use kindness. And this is about that man who suddenly shows up as the nice guy, the guy who does all the things you've been begging for, promises therapy, promises more time together, suddenly understands all of the things that didn't make sense to him the entire time. And the reason he does this is because it lowers your guard. It actually brings connection back. Because in these relationships, there's a very obvious cycle. It's not so obvious when you're in it, but when you're out of it, you see this cycle, right? Things are going well, and then something bad happens, some kind of abusive moment, and then there's a discard. Now, the discard might not be that you're breaking up, but stonewalling, him pulling away, him being extra mean or cruel, and then it just goes back around. But kindness is always part of this cycle. So your body is used to good and bad, good and bad. And so at this moment, you are fed up with the bad, fed up with the cycle, you start to pull away, and he gives you kindness, but he might give you more kindness or different kindness than he's given you before. So it feels different. It feels intoxicating. It feels like he finally gets it. It's giving, he doesn't know what he has until it's gone vibes, right? He finally has had this epiphany as you're about to walk out the door. Check the timing. When he is being kind to you, it reduces the risk of you leaving. And honestly, I know a lot of these guys are like, I don't care if you leave. They don't want you to leave. Abusive men benefit from being in relationships. And the truth is, they lean into what they know works on you. Kindness works. That's why they keep using it. So pay attention to the timing. When you are distant and suddenly Mr. Nice Guy shows up, that is information. So you might be experiencing something like apologies showing up quickly or apologies showing up at all. I'd love you to really take a note here that it's not an authentic apology, but it probably feels like one. He says all the things that you've been waiting to hear. And there's probably a lot of emotion in it, right? It's different this time. You don't get it. It's different this time. I get it, right? Maybe he's crying. Maybe there's urgency, intensity. He's making promises about change that he hadn't before. He's talking about therapy, or he always talked about therapy, and now he's actually going to therapy. He's talking about the future. He's more affectionate. He spends a little bit more time with you, right? More affection, more presence. So it feels like movement. And it's like, oh, I can't leave when he's finally getting it. But stay with this because I want you to really pay attention, right? When is the kindness now showing up? The real authentic kindness, right when you're about to walk away. So it follows when you pull back. It's part of the cycle. It follows your silence or distance. So it lines up with the very moment that you're stepping out. He is now losing something. I want to be really clear here. when you were in the relationship with him this whole time, he basically didn't care, right? Basically, he's telling you your feelings are stupid, they don't matter, you're making a big deal about it. He's gaslighting you, deflecting, minimizing, all of these things. Now, there's a consequence about to show up for him. He's about to lose access to you. So now it affects him, right? We think now he gets it. No, he got it the whole time. It affects him now. Now he's experiencing an actual consequence. You're not threatening to leave. You're actually changing your actions. Maybe you are leaving. Maybe you are doing less for him, pulling back. He feels it and he doesn't like it. This timing, it tells you what triggered this shift in him. This is a response to him losing access. So I want you to really look at this. If you can see the timing, stay right there and keep paying attention to it. This pulls you back in because this looks like evidence that he's really changing, that he really gets it, that he heard you this time, right? Something clicked and you are feeling relief. Maybe you feel like he sees you again. And there's this version of him that you have been begging to show up, right? The version of him that existed at the beginning. You have been begging for that man to come back more consistently, right? Because again, they oscillate. But here he is showing you this version and it feels like old times. You recognize him again. So you kind of soften into this and all the hope that you had been dismantling, hopefully by watching all of my videos, all of that hope, it's flooding back and you feel this in your body. And that's why this is such a hard moment. It gets really confusing here because if he's being kind and showing effort, you're supposed to leave when things are good. That makes no sense, right? This is the part where he finally gets it. This is the part where you become the exception to the rule. And he's not abusive. He just finally understands, right? Because nothing feels wrong in that moment. So leaving feels harsh, right? You were about to leave, but now he gets it. So now he's trying, so you stay. That's the point. And just to question yourself is enough. Just to kind of slow down. Just even if you hesitate, maybe you stay. But this moment where you feel like you're walking away from something good and it feels crazy to leave somebody who's treating you so well right now, this is a very important moment because you're not looking at the pattern that you're in anymore. There's harm, there's distance, right? Kindness, cruelty, pain, comfort. He's the knife and the Band-Aid. But right now, he's just the Band-Aid, right? That knife is gone. He responds and he's connected to you. Kindness kind of shows up. Even if it's not perfectly consistent, it just feels better. So you stay. But that fades. The old behavior comes back. You've been through this before. You already know this cycle. But I know he makes this feel a little bit different because you changed. But so you feel this and the cycle just keeps going, right? So if the kindness shows up right when you're done, I just want you to just, at the very least, just notice the timing and don't rush right past it. Now, I'm big on helping women really see what change actually looks like. And the truth is, I'm going to tell you, there's a list that you can Google by Lundy Bancroft that really describes what it looks like when an abusive man is changing. But fundamentally, it shows up without some kind of crisis, right? Change would happen if he wanted to change, not when he's inspired to change because he's losing you. Again, I know that feels like, no, but he just didn't appreciate me before, but now he does. He just didn't get it before, but now he does. I know it feels that way, but the truth is, it is because he is experiencing a consequence. You didn't matter. When you were crying and begging and asking him to be better, and you were upset and isolated and alone and stuck and overwhelmed and angry and sad at all of this, none of that mattered. But it matters now because he's losing something. So this is not some epiphany, okay? Change does not depend on you pulling away. It is something that's steady. It's also self-motivated. Change needs to be self-motivated. He can't change to keep you because then once he has you, he has no reason to maintain the change. He's just going to go back to the way he was. Change isn't spikes and drops. Now, to be fair, change is hard. So it doesn't mean that it's instant perfection. And I know that they say that, right?
You expect me to be perfect.
I get all that. This isn't about you expecting perfection, but if he wanted to change, abuse would stop. You know why? Abuse is a choice. So he could choose to not be abusive, but he chooses to be abusive. But right now, he's choosing to be nice. All of this is that easy. We overcomplicate things so much, making it seem like there's all these complicated reasons that he treats you this way. He treats you this way because he can. because he doesn't actually have to do anything. So change is not something that just happens to these abusive men. You don't have to threaten to leave the relationship to get change. It's just there day to day. It's not just in the moments where you're about to leave. You would feel the difference, and you don't feel the difference. That's why you're watching this video. Change is steady. He's going to be inconsistent. An abusive man cannot be consistent in his change. The truth is we wait like weeks or, I get it now. I'm going to be amazing like that. If it was really that easy to be better, why did he wait until this moment to be better? You need to be looking at change over like 12 to 24 months. Do you actually want to stay and wait and hope that this is going to be consistent, all while he downplays what's really going on and pretends that every time he has an explosive or goes back to his abusive behavior, that it's you expecting perfection? That's the problem. When you stay in this, and this is the cycle that you're in where he's kind and then he sucks you back in, hope gets reset every single time. And hope is one of the most dangerous parts of an abusive relationship because you always start over emotionally, right? You give it more time, you go deeper into it, you start to feel even more attached. Trauma bonds are brutal because you feel so attached, but every time you leave and go back or mentally want to leave and stay, you feel more and more attached. It just gets harder to pull away and you question yourself. Next time you wait longer, you stay for the potential, for what it could be, not for what it actually is. And that is a huge problem because we're missing it. So step back and look at the pattern. Watch what happens after you kind of soften. Stay with that feeling. Subscribe if you're not already. And honestly, if you're ready to break this cycle, if you're ready to get out of relationships like this, I want to invite you to join a program that I have called the Trauma Bond Recovery Group Coaching Program. This is a live online group program that I co-host with Dr. Peter Salerno. There's 8 to 10 women. We meet over 12 weeks and we teach you real, practical, actionable skills like distress tolerance, emotional regulation. We help you resolve cognitive dissonance, understand yourself, what has kept you here, and we teach you how to break free of a trauma bond. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.